Hello. I want to add a little bit of detail to my theory about Britney Spears. I put something together based off of the clip that I'm going to show you in a minute. This right now is not a full reading. It's just me telling you something and then showing you how I got to that. So what I believe is that in my reading, and I'm going to show you these clips as well in a minute, but in my reading, I got that Britney, real Britney, was going to be released at some public controlled event in order to ruin her credibility, because her mental health is being purposely deteriorated right now to lead up to this event. And just turns out that her ex is maybe having to take her to court if Britney does not sign over this paperwork that would allow him to move their kids to an island, Hawaii. We talked about an island in the reading as well. And again, I'll show you those clips in a minute. If she doesn't sign it by Friday, this Friday, so 2 days from now, then he will have to take her to court to get her to sign paperwork in order for him to leave with the children. I believe that this is the controlled event that I saw in my reading, that she is going, it's basically a setup in order to put her into a mental health facility in a way that the public would agree to. So I'm just going to show you the clips now about where I got the info from about the ex, and then how that ties in with the reading that I did.
K-Fed recently announced that he wants to move their children to Hawaii with him and his wife. K-Fed has been the primary caregiver of these boys for years now. They actually have cut off contact with Britney. They haven't spoken to her for at least a year, they mentioned in the documentary. So everybody kind of assumed that Britney would automatically allow Kevin to roll out with the boys because he has the sole custody and whatnot. But here's the thing. He needs for Britney to put it in writing that it is acceptable for him to uproot the kids and move to a different state. But for some reason, Britney and her legal team are not yet providing that. I can't say that they're refusing to provide that. Maybe it's a little bit too strong of a word, but I will say that they are seemingly refusing to provide that documentation, because they've reached out to Britney's lawyer, Matthew Rosengert, several times, asking him to send a letter or an email stating that Britney's okay with the move, but that they have not provided that at this moment. So at this point, Kevin is like, I am so sick of this, Britney. Like, you literally have a couple days left. And if you don't do it, and by a couple days, I mean by Friday, right? So you've got 4 days, Britney Jean Spears. If you do not send me this email or this official letter notarized, I will be taking you to court, and I will be filing legal documents asking for a move away order. So generally speaking, when one parent has sole custody, it means that they are very, very likely to be granted that order. It would be up to Britney to prove that like moving away would harm the child, but it would be difficult to prove that when the kids themselves are old enough to tell their side of the story, similar to the way they did in that documentary, and tell the judge, we don't have a relationship with her. We haven't even spoken to her in over a year. We want to move to Hawaii and be with our dad and our stepmom. I feel like it might be quite embarrassing to have to go to court, pay that money for yourself, pay that money for Kevin, just for the judge to tell you what you already know the judge is going to tell you, which is that he or she is granting permission for Kevin to move to Hawaii with these children.
They're taking everything that they have from her. And they have her in a position where there's not really anything that she can do about it now or in the future, because her credibility will be ruined by the plan that's in motion. And that is the point of said plan. We can't kill you off. We have to ruin your credibility. And then we have to get the public to agree that you need to be under mental health professional care, because we ruined your mental health and then put you out to make it known that it's ruined so that we could then trap you.
I wonder what's holding her up. And I feel like that's going to send her spiraling, but I digress. But
she's going to be released at some kind of event. He's going to make it look like he's the savior. and then they're going to lock her up with us knowing about it, instead of right now she's locked up and we don't know about it. Then they're going to release her, let her ruin her credibility, and then he's going to save her by giving her this great treatment in this very expensive, nice resort place. That's a prison. But it's a prison that the public would agree to her going to because, well, she's a mess. She went out to this event for the first time in a really long time and she did X, Y, and Z. But mental health. Yeah. Huh. Royalty in reverse. She's not being treated like royalty. She's not being given her earnings. She's not in control of her decisions and choices. All of her privilege was taken and stripped from her because in the sake of mental health. I really feel strongly that she found out that her husband was hired to keep an eye on her and to keep her under control. She got to the bottom of it and they had to destroy her reputation and mental health so that that could not come out. Because all of this other stuff going on, conservatorship, all this drama that was surrounding her, it would cause too much of a stir and people would look into it too much if all of a sudden she just mysteriously died. They don't want to have to deal with that. They're trying to make her lead to her own demise by making her crazy, releasing her at some point when she's mentally declined enough that we can release her for like one event or something. She'll go out there, show everybody how unmentally healthy she is, and then we can say, see, told you guys, she needs to be in a mental facility. And then boom, credibility ruined. She can never talk about what she knows, and we have full control. Power supply, work and ritual. Power supply, work and ritual. Power supply, the ones who supply the power, the ones in charge. Work, because this is, you know, the Epstein thing would be their business. And then ritual. Okay. Ritual is like the dark and evil side of why these people are doing what they're doing. Not Britney, but the people that she knows something about. Because Britney is a heavy burden to those around her. They're trying to destroy her credibility so she can't speak on something. Justice in reverse. 9, so she's paranoid. She is struggling with mental health, but she's struggling with mental health because of what others are doing to her. Because others are closing in on her and secluding her. I didn't do anything to deserve this. All she did was find out something she wasn't supposed to know. Which I know there's innocent people in jail too, but so this is like if you lock someone in some kind of room for an extended period of time so that their mental health just diminishes, right? And then you bring them to an event, like a fancy 5-star event, and watch them just completely bomb it, fall on their face, embarrass themselves, ruin their own credibility, and then you come on and you make some kind of statement like, okay, well, she was out for the first time in a very long time in public and we see what happened. So we told you guys that she needs to be in a mental care facility. So she's going to be gone for a little bit while we work on that. I think that's the plan here. Because to kill her off would just be, at this point, way too suspicious. But her credibility has to be ruined because there's something big that she uncovered. Because then even if 5 years down the road, it's really because they can't kill her off because it would be too suspicious. So it's almost like she has them in this trap because you can't just kill me. You got to figure out something else to do with me. And you have to have me around the public at some point because if not, they're just going to get increasingly suspicious, obviously. So you have to let me back out in public eventually. So you're making sure that you completely destroy my mental health so that when I go out, I further the reputation that you've been trying to ruin through having someone act like me on social media and do these weird dances that look like a call for help with all of these cryptic messages. What is the plan going forward for Britney? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. A major betrayal, one-sided. Chariot in reverse is forcing you and then taking away your power. Keeping it's like 10 of Swords reverse, 6 of Pentacles, Chariot. Oh, and Page of Swords. They're going to have her be at some kind of controlled event. Okay. They're going to release her to go to some controlled event where the people that are there are kind of in on it, or at least most of them. The real Britney, they're going to have go to some kind of event and make a complete fool of herself. Not only mental health, but she'll probably be given something before. And then whatever she's going to be saying is going to be used against her.
I feel like it might be quite embarrassing to have to go to court.
They have to have her go and get just enough footage so that they have enough to push out to people that makes her look crazy. He's going to swoop in, be the knight in shining armor. He's going to come to where she is or be at where she is. He's going to swoop her away. Wheel of Fortune reversed. The Fool reversed. Not surprised. The Fool reverse came out underneath of the Page of Swords. So they need to have the real Britney out at some kind of public event after her mental health has been deteriorated. She's going to be given something that's going to make her chatty. She's going to say a bunch of things that are off and weird. They're going to say, your mental health needs to be cared for in a more intense way. So the husband's going to swoop in, give her some 10-star mental health care in some fancy resort, but it's really going to be on the inside a prison. But it's going to be a prison that the outside is going to be like, okay, good, I'm glad we're doing this for her because she needs the help, because look at this video footage that we have of her at these events. It's obviously the real Britney. So she must be the real Britney, right? Because it's going to be her, but it's going to be her in a manipulated form because they're preparing for this to happen so that they can ruin her credibility. Allegedly, my opinion. But Page of Swords, they have to get her on camera saying some off-the-wall stuff so that they can show it to the public and say, look, we told you. Told you. But all it is one giant betrayal. Everybody that knows her is stabbing her in the back because they're getting something out of it.
My sweet mama showed up at my doorstep yesterday after 3 years.
They're either getting not in trouble for whatever it is that she knows. They're getting connections not dropped from her saying things that she should be keeping to herself, money that's hers, or that they're getting from her something, anything, but they're taking everything that they have from her. And they have her in a position where there's not really anything that she can do about it now or in the future because her credibility will be ruined by the plan that's in motion. And that is the point of said plan. We can't kill you off. We have to ruin your credibility. And then we have to get the public to agree that you need to be under mental health professional care because we ruined your mental health and then put you out to make it known that it's ruined so that we could then trap you. What does she think about him now? Like, how does she see him now? So what about when she found out? Caretaker of the lost. Respite, assistance, and memory. Respite, assistance, memory. That's like a summary of and they're definitely doing something with her memory. It's like they can't erase all of her memory because they need her to still say crazy things. What card would she pick for him now? Like, how does Britney view her husband right now, where she's at? Warden of Disc, completion, support, expediency. Outer space. Witness in reverse. Outer space, upright, witness in reverse. Can't let the person who knows something out into the general public. Out and free. Top secret, classified. Motel, hotel in reverse. Not on a vacation. Top secret is what she knows needs to be kept under wraps. Yes. And then when I was saying that, that's when I got the thing about Epstein.
And if a judge asks for their direct opinion, which they are more than old enough to give, they're going to say that they want to go to Hawaii. And I feel like that's going to be publicly humiliating for Britney Jean.
Yes. It says yes, and it has the water on it, and I just said the thing about the island. And it's yes and yes. Remember I said it's like she's in the center of an island. There's water all the way around the outside of the island, and it's like no matter what direction she has to run from one to the other. No matter. And then when I was saying that, that's when I got the thing about Epstein. So that would be confirmed. Oh, yes, that's confirming both.
It's about his move to Hawaii. I'm